How's it going, everybody? So first of all, I'd just like to say thank you. We've reached 75 likes and 42 retweets, trying to get Elon Musk's attention. So everyone tweet at Elon Musk to get him to talk about DigiByte. He seems interested in Bitcoin, but I still think DigiByte is more worthy of the attention. So congrats, everybody. I know we haven't gotten Elon Musk's attention yet, but I have faith that we'll continue to post this sentiment, even if it's not my tweet that gets to it. I'm not in this to get any personal credibility. I just think that it'd be cool to get DigiByte in Elon Musk's big brain. He is a hilarious figure in the world of cryptocurrency, and it will be interesting to see. Now, of course, if we could pull this off, that'd be a magnificent feat for the DigiByte community. So, that's just a side note. The subject of this video is going to delve into the concept of DigiByte further, but if you're interested in connecting with me, you could do that at CryptoTuber. As always, interested in hearing your feedback. In other related news, we have open interest in Bitcoin future nearly doubles. The open interest in Bitcoin futures has almost doubled in the past 2 weeks, jumping from just under 6,000 open contracts to nearly 10,000. And if this isn't bullish, I don't know what else is. Currently, we're looking at a Bitcoin that's valued at the 9,785 at the current time of recording this video. And it is very interesting how we've been seeing Bitcoin and the perception of blockchain technology definitely has evolved in the light of the current health situation that we've been seeing. A crisis was supposed to be Bitcoin's time to shine, when the need for an international currency outside the reach of the central banks would prove invaluable. That hasn't been yet the case. It sort of has been business as usual with Bitcoin, and I do have to agree in a slight sense to the overall sentiment being pushed forward by this video. But at the same time, I personally am one to say that the fact that Bitcoin has survived this, in its own sense, every market, money has dried up. There's been trillions of dollars that have been eradicated from global circulation already, and we haven't really even witnessed the beginning of the economic impact. But the fact that Bitcoin is where it is right now, and cryptocurrency is still a thing, I think is a victory in and of itself. Just merely surviving the current situation and the full force of what we just witnessed go down in these past couple of months, I would say is a proof of concept at its core. Especially, we saw Bitcoin dropping down to the lower $4,000 levels briefly, and then reviving subsequently. And we have learned a lot about cryptocurrency as we've been watching how a lot of these different aspects of the space have been responding in a very interesting way to many of the different intricacies and related dynamics that do in part lend themselves to the totality of what I would imagine to be the blockchain revolution, which is why I'm a staunch advocate of DigiByte, and I'm glad to be making this content for the DigiByte community, because I think we are on the cutting edge of this technological innovation. And, when we talk about, a faster digital currency, then faster transactions than Bitcoin, smart contracts, and the whole foundation that DigiByte has available for it, the fact that there is a blockchain that's maintained and capable on a level as DigiByte is certainly an achievement in and of itself. And it will be interesting to see because, one of the important sentiments that I think is probably one of the far most overlooked when it comes to DigiByte is the fact that, many businesses and very large organizations, nations, for example, have taken it upon themselves to attempt to build their own blockchain, which is in part brings me to the analogy, the overall concept of building your own, imagine a shipment company, and they're getting various different shipments in all the time, and then they decide to build their own highway rather than using the highway that already exists. And of course, this analogy, DigiByte is the highway that already exists, is maintained, is public, and has the potential And, I think that it will be interesting to see how, as there's going to be a rush towards blockchain that will certainly be inevitable, that will be interesting to see. So Bitcoin chart hits a exciting breakout. Telegram officially ditches, and of course we have, Drumpf could be the next, we have ransomware coming up again. So Bitcoin price charts hit at the most exciting breakout in over a year. It will be interesting to see how these different things overlap and develop as U.S. pumps trillions into economy. Bitcoin likely to be affected. Of course, policymakers around the world have committed unprecedented amounts of fresh money in a bid to stave off the impending recession, or worse, total depression. In the United States, the Senate approved a $2 trillion stimulus package in late March, and the House of Representatives had now accepted proposal from House Democrats for another $3 trillion, meant to ease the needs of Americans who are facing an unemployment rate of nearly 15% as response to the current health pandemic. The Federal Reserve has undertaken a wave of quantitative easing unparalleled in its history as the monetary body responsible for managing the world's reserve currency. The Fed uses quantitative easing as a means of infusing the economy for fresh liquidity. Fresh puts a dirty stain, bad taste in my mouth. So having total control over money printing allows the Fed to print as many dollars as it wants, which it then injects into the financial system by purchasing assets to the open market. And these are all very interesting, and I think the writing is on the wall. You don't really need me to spell it out for you, but I find this quote here interesting. The current health, financial crisis is at the is the first crisis that Bitcoin is experiencing as an asset class. And while some expected it to perform similar to gold, it led to a sharp decline in Bitcoin's price as the world economy has started to open up. Bitcoin has recovered quite nicely, outperforming the S&P since their respective lows, with the Bitcoin halving behind us, an event that has historically been followed by a bull run. It will be interesting to see if Bitcoin can gain acceptance as a hedge against inflation and a store of value. And I think that is interesting. I think the halving was reminiscent of uncertainty to a certain extent, but it is interesting to see Bitcoin turn back to origins with anti-inflation push. And it is going to be interesting just to see how the argument harkens back to the token's origin, Bitcoin's halving, which happened on Monday and cut in half the rewards miners receive, has long been seen as a guard against inflation. And I suppose it will be interesting to see how a lot of these different variables continue to flesh out. But overall, I am very interested in DigiByte, and how we're going to be seeing protection of password, DigiID, and all these definite things that are difficult to ignore in the broader context of what we've been seeing happening. And I think it is bullish for DigiByte, and of course, as we see a lot of these different interconnected variables as they've been developing. We'll certainly watch with bated breath as we see how the cryptocurrency space is able to make a lot of these different developments. But of course, remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. I'm not your dad. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm merely here giving you my own opinion. But it will be interesting just to see how, the core protocol, and of course the worldwide network that is DigiByte, and all these different interrelated aspects are able to function, in particular, while we watch a lot of these different things really coming into their own. own. But that's all for now. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. Definitely make sure that you guys comment, subscribe, and let us know what you guys think. Put on post notifications. And I think that it is interesting to see how we've had a great community that's been growing around these things. And thanks to everybody who's shown support, everybody who's been able to help us in sharing information, and of course tweeting the Elon Musk tweet. It is pretty interesting to see just how we've gotten all these people at Elon Musk to try and get his views on DigiByte, and we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to do more initiatives that are community inspired, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one, and have a good one.